Hey there, today I'm going to be talking about how to get a domestic violence charge dropped in California. My name is Veronica. I am a criminal defense attorney here in California, and I help people who have been arrested put their criminal cases behind them so that they can enjoy their lives and their freedom. And again, I'm going to be talking about actually 3 different ways to get your domestic violence charge dropped in California. So first one is, and especially if you've never been arrested before, like at all, you have no criminal history, you're a normal person, just something happened, really bad night, whatever, doesn't matter. The first way is to have an attorney contact the DA before court, because here's how it works. So the police come, they make an arrest. Sometimes they'll say, oh, because of O.J. Simpson, we have to blah, 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 whatever. Okay, some department policies say that they have to take someone. Usually they'll take the man. Of course, they assume that he's the aggressor. What happens after that, though, is you get a court date, right? You bond out, hopefully. You get a court date and you're like, oh shit, okay, I have this many times felony charge against me. Maybe it's a misdemeanor, but I have this charge against me. I have to go to court. There's a whole thing. What's going to happen? You're researching on the internet. Maybe that's how you found me. And you're thinking, oh my God, like, is my life over? No. Okay, so what you need to do is have an attorney contact before court the DA, give your side of the story, all the good things about you. So when you're thinking, oh my God, I'm a normal person, I'm not a felon. Yeah, well, the DA doesn't know that. They know that you're not a felon, sure, but they only have the police report, which probably makes you look pretty bad. So we need to get the DA all of the good things about you, letters of recommendation if we can get them, describing who you are, if it's your spouse, okay, you guys have been married for however many years, if it's your girlfriend, boyfriend, you're broken up, whatever it is, we need to put all of the most positive things in there, cast you in the most positive light, and make sure when they are looking at the police report, they also are looking at our packet. And if they look at our packet, and they look at the police report and they decide, you know what, I am going to not file this case, you are good to go. So how it works before court is the DA, the prosecution, still has to make a decision like, do I want to file this case or not? Do I want to file more serious charges, less serious charges, go along with what the cops said, or just dismiss the case? And many times we are able to get it dismissed if you have no criminal history, they're not bad injuries at all before court. So that is number one, and that is the best way, because if you win before court, if you get the case dismissed, now you don't have the stress of trial, you don't have like any of the bad things that go along with having to go to the criminal court, and believe me, there are many. Number 2 is, let's say that they do file the charges against you, or maybe you didn't hire an attorney before the first court date, you never submitted the pre-filing packet. Okay, fine. So they file charges against you, and the next best, basically, is maybe you get the DA to dismiss the case, but usually they won't want to unless you actually take domestic violence classes. So number 2 is take domestic violence classes and try to get the DA to agree that if you do a certain amount of them, they will dismiss the case. That is called that is called diversion. And there's formal and informal. There are like a lot of nuances to that. But even if you are the most innocent person, you didn't do anything wrong, if you can get the case dismissed, not have anything on your record, and you just had to do some classes, I think do the classes. Number 3, the third main way to get this done is to go to jury trial and win. And so I've had cases where the victim is not at all on our side, and I just have to cross-examine the crap out of her. I have to pull up everything I possibly can, from text messages, emails, whatever my client gives me, look up her Instagram as I have in some cases, like do everything that I can to discredit her, or on cross-examination to make her crack. Like, my job is very hard doing that sometimes, but that's also like the most fun, especially if I strongly believe that she's lying and my client's telling the truth. It's like the most fun part, but for the client that's stressful, so obviously way number 1 or 2 is much better, right? But that's one possibility. Or let's say that the alleged victim is on our side, and then I want to talk to them, make sure I know their story ahead of time, make sure that they have seen everything that they need to. If they don't want to come to court, sometimes that's good if there's no evidence other than there's no body-worn video, but most times we actually do want them to come to court if they're on our side to give their side of the story. So I just have to make sure that they're prepped, make sure that they see everything that they said previously, And that is way number 3. Now, there are some other things that can happen in there, like there's maybe a motion to suppress evidence, motion to throw out an illegal confession, something like that. But usually for domestic violence cases, that's not as much an issue. Like the illegal search, illegal interrogation, that usually isn't the issue in domestic violence cases. I guess it could be, but illegal search, it's like, well, you found something bad that the person had, right? And we want to get that thrown out. The interrogation, sometimes, yeah, we might want to get it thrown out. You're in custody, so you were like arrested or felt like you weren't free to go and being questioned and you weren't read your Miranda rights. Okay, so we would want to get, if you confessed at that point and said, yes, I did it, I committed domestic violence, or, however you said it, we would want to get that thrown out, but usually that's not going to be the only evidence that they have, so it won't be a way to necessarily dismiss the case. Anyway, so those are the 3 ways to get everything dismissed. Again, like, I'm going from easiest, get it dismissed before court, medium to, taking classes in exchange for dismissal, which is not always easy to convince the DA to do, and hard, which is, go to jury trial and just cross-examine or be prepared if the victim's on our side. I hope you found this helpful. If you do have a criminal case in California that you need help with, you can find my phone number down below. You can also book a consultation with me at the link right there.